Okay, thank you very much. Bore da, croeso chi. Thank you so much for coming along. Thanks for joining us. This is the business support stage. Now then, a little bit of housekeeping before we start. I'm not going to ask you to switch your mobile phones off. That will be too much. There are no fire alarms planned, hopefully. But if there are, if you do hear something, don't panic. Paul is going to lead us to safety. Now then, this is being recorded. It's not being live streamed on this particular stage, but it is being recorded. There's a camera there. By all means, take any pictures. On social media, there is a hashtag, hashtag Wales Tech Week. By all means, put any comments, any photos on your social media. It'd be great to create a little bit of a buzz. There will be a chance to ask some questions later on towards the end of the session, and we will be keeping a strict eye on time. So our first session of the day, and we have 4 on this particular stage, is how Welsh universities are supporting tech. So this panel session, as you see, our panel is ready for us, sponsored by Wales Innovation Network, and we'll be discussing how the universities across Wales, of course, are supporting tech and innovators. We'll hear about some innovative programs and hopefully learn about how you may be able to help and work with Welsh University. Maybe some of you are from universities at the moment. Okay, so chairing the session is Dr. Lewis Dean, and he is from the Wales Innovation Network. And Dr. Dean will give a short presentation and then we'll have a quick discussion with the panel. And as I say, don't be shy. If you do have any questions, maybe towards the end of the panel, just raise your question and we have a roaming mic. Okay, so please welcome, first of all, please welcome Dr. Lewis Dean.
Thank you. Bore da, good morning. Yes, I'm Lewis Dean. I'm head of the Wales Innovation Network and Assistant Director at Universities Wales. The Wales Innovation Network, WIN, is a partnership of all of the Welsh universities, and it aims to harness the research and innovation strengths at Welsh universities, facilitating collaboration between them and building impactful projects. So WIN seeks to do this through building interdisciplinary networks, raising the profile of Welsh research and innovation, and enhancing the research and innovation environment in Welsh universities. This session is designed to explore the question of how Welsh universities are supporting tech. We're going to examine how the knowledge and expertise within our universities in Wales can be shared, and give you some examples of, as was said there, give some examples of the programs that exist across the nation. So I'm delighted to be joined by a really distinguished panel from across Wales, and I'll invite each of them to speak and introduce them before each of them speaks for about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll move to some questions. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Emma Dunbar. Emma is Head of Engagement, Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Swansea University, where she leads on delivering the institution's strategy related to external engagement, research impact, innovation and IP commercialization, and entrepreneurial and leadership skills development. Emma has experience working both in industry and government, having started her career in the aerospace industry and working for technology-based businesses. Emma then subsequently moved to Welsh Government, working on a number of different portfolios, including supporting inward investment activities into Wales and high-growth incubation networks. Emma's been in higher education for about 10 years now, working to bridge the relationship between universities and business. So, Emma, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Lewis. So, Swansea University was founded by industry, for industry, over 100 years ago. So we've got a lot of experience working with a number of organisations over that period, large and small. And like many universities in Wales, there is a lot of activity and support that is available to companies. I'd like to call it more like a pick and mix. So if you think of your sweet shop, and we all like different things, we have different challenges that we need problem solving or opportunities that we want to explore. And universities are a great mechanism for you to actually tap into some of the resources and areas of expertise. So really, we can categorise the support available to companies in 4 kind of key areas. The first one is research and development, and we're very good at that. We work on a lot of collaborative projects with companies over the years, where you can share, we share our expertise, our facilities, resources, really to help you develop your business and commercial opportunities. So we're very good at accessing funding as well, particularly in the southwest region of Wales. We've had access to a lot of European funding over the years, as well as UK government and Welsh government programmes. So we work very collaborative with companies in looking at joint ventures and how we can work with you. There are other programmes which might be of interest to you, such as the Knowledge Transfer Partnership, which is an Innovate UK funded programme, as well as Smart Partnerships in Wales. Now, these are great schemes for you to tap into the expertise of universities. So working alongside an academic and also an associate. So an associate is generally a graduate, somebody with a PhD, maybe a master's, and they work on a specific challenge within your company. And this is funded by these programs. So it's a great way for us to transfer knowledge from a university environment to really deal with real life challenges that you might be facing in your company or an opportunity that you want to explore. The second way that we can work with companies is access to our facilities, our state-of-the-art facilities. So over many years through research program and our teaching, we've built up a great range of high-tech equipment and facilities. And a lot of these you wouldn't necessarily as a company want to purchase yourself. So actually working with a university where you can access these facilities can really help you with maybe developing a new product or some testing, or just getting an expert opinion on that as well. Not only that, but you can also co-locate. Many universities have incubation facilities where you can have access to lab space, co-location, and also the plethora of other services that universities can offer. So a great way to engage with us is to look at our equipment. A third way is through our intellectual property. So universities have done excellent research over the years and have developed fantastic ideas, inventions, and intellectual property which are accessible to companies through licensing or potentially joint venture creations with us as well. So this could really set you apart as well in giving you some competitive edge or new technology that you want to explore. And finally, another area is about developing your workforce. So obviously there are lots of challenges around skills, the skills agenda. I'm sure that will be spoken about later today. But there are ways that we can support you in developing your workforce through accredited professional development courses, degree apprenticeships, or bespoke training. So really to help you enhance your staff. But not only that, we are developing the future workforce. We have 150,000 graduates or students across Wales. We are developing the future jobs. So, it's an opportunity for you to work with us or take on a student through a placement or an internship, or even come to our careers fair to think about how you want to enhance your workforce as well. So there are many ways that you can engage with with universities and that we can support you. And as I said, it really depends on where you are in terms of your company life cycle, what your challenges are. So you can come in and then, dip back out again. So what I would encourage you to do is to come and talk to your local universities. There's a couple, Swansea University, we've got a stand round the corner, as well as Cardiff Metropolitan. I know, shameless plug for both our universities. But, come and talk to your local university and see how we can work with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. So, moving on from a really nice overview then from Emma, we're going to have a couple of sort of more specific examples about programs that operate in universities in Wales. So, next up is Jared Evans. Jared is Managing Director of PDR, a leading product and service design consultancy and academic design research centre based at Cardiff Metropolitan University. He has over 30 years' experience in applied practical innovation and new product and service development. He has a speciality in rigorous user-centered design as the basis for successful future innovation. He has over 75 major international design awards, numerous patents, and over 200 products in market. Jared worked in-house in manufacturing design leadership roles, predominantly within the medical device industry, before joining PDR in 2004 and rising to lead the organisation in 2015. In 2019, he was awarded the title of Professor of Applied Design Innovation at Cardiff Metropolitan. Jared, over to you.
Hello. This is what happens when somebody else writes your bio, by the way. So I was an excellent overview from Emma about what universities can do. I guess I'm much more granular. I'm going to go much more into the detail of my individual organization, much smaller, 40-something people. And from a technology perspective, our focus, since it was set up nearly 30 years ago, is all about making technology commercially successful, accessible, and usable. It's about translating that tech into viable, useful, successful products. And we're quite unusual in the way that we've been set up, as I say, 30 years ago now, because we are 100% dedicated to working with the outside world. There's no students or teaching in our place. It's research and work with industry, and even the research is applied research with industry as well. So the way that we do that, I guess, is across a number of areas. The first is about products. We develop products for people. So we're an IP engine in that respect, and that's everything from early conceptual design through to detailed design and support through implementation and manufacture. It's through the design of interactions and experiences around products, about making them more, about those digital connections, making them more joyful and human and work. It's about development of services. It's very unusual these days to see any technology that's not part of a much bigger user journey. You think about anything, your phone, or even to a certain degree, not necessarily great, coming through here today. The technology part of it is something that's tied into a lot more touch points across a broader journey, and it's about developing those. And I guess finally, it's fundamentally about understanding the users who will use and engage with that technology, and understanding what they want from it and how you design it to make sure it satisfies their needs, not something that is just clever for being clever's sake. And I guess, and we do that in lots of different ways. The ways that Emma described with KTPs and research outcomes are very good as well. A lot of our work is consultancy. A lot of it is, we do that with training as well. We'll train companies to teach it themselves. And we do that with organizations, lots of big ones, GE Healthcare, Allergan, European Central Bank, Principality Building Society. Most of our work is abroad. Not enough of it is in Wales, but we've worked with quite a lot of the companies out there. And I think over the 30 years, 2,000 or so of Welsh companies. So that's our particular approach to this.
Great, thanks, Jared. Our final speaker is Caroline Gray. Caroline is currently Director of the OpTIC Technology Centre and Professor at Wrexham University. OpTIC is a dedicated business and incubator facility based at the heart of the A55 corridor, which is also home to the award-winning Glyndor Innovations Limited Precision Optical Systems team. Caroline graduated from Liverpool John Moores University in physics and has worked in the photonics industry for over 35 years, specialising in complex optical component design, fabrication and testing. She has a background at director level for highly technical and technology-based industrial programs and companies within the optical industry, both in the UK and overseas. She joined Wrexham University in December 2011, initially as a technical specialist, rising to become director in 2016. So, Caroline, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you very much. Yes, so as my colleagues here have said, universities are all focused on supporting both businesses and the skills network and academic network. What I want to talk to you today really is about an example of how that works and how we put that into practice at the OpTIC Centre. The OpTIC Centre is, as said, that in North Wales, on the centre of the A55 corridor, is halfway between Bangor University and Wrexham University, so ideally situated. It's on a business park. It's very much at the heart of an optoelectronics cluster of companies, so hence the reason why OpTIC, and it was initially part of the Wales network of specialist centres, of technium centres. So bought by the university in 2008, I believe, and has been run by Wrexham University ever since. We specialise in, we have incubator facilities for incubating companies, technology companies, not just within the optics area, but within all sorts of spheres. But we have a very strong background in developing and supporting incubating companies to success and to spin out and to creating some of the stronger companies that are currently based in the North Wales corridor. A little bit about myself, as said, we have the I have a background in manufacturing, in optical components, so ideally situated in that area for promoting those specialists. However, that grows to everyday technologies, because optics are used in many everyday applications. So we support all sorts of businesses. So recently we concluded a program called the Centre for Photonics Expertise program, which was European funded, but has a legacy of, we now have a technology transfer voucher scheme, which has been a winning model for us because it's attracted over 80 companies, partnered with 3 other Welsh universities to engage with companies across Wales that have never engaged with universities before. So over 80 companies within the 4-year period of that programme engaged with us and created either new products or new processes, but generally got the support they needed when they needed it. And that model we have carried on and grown. So we believe we can put that into action. So a lot of the criticism when I first joined and as an MD of a small manufacturing company was the engagement with universities was slow, it was long term, it was difficult to engage. We've turned that model around, and you talk to us and we will get you the support that you need as quickly as possible. And universities are switching on to that now across Wales. It's not just us, but we do believe the CPE programme has set the bar for that model to proceed. So I'm here all day today, so if anybody has any questions, then I'll happily take those. And obviously the floor is going to be opened up for questions anyway. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And so that gives you a really good example of the range of work that's going on at universities in Wales, supporting tech, supporting business. We're going to open the floor for questions in a minute, but I thought what we'd do to start with is just to kick off with a couple of questions that I've primed the panel with already, so hopefully they've prepped their answers. Yeah, I'd like to investigate with you what you think makes a good partnership between universities and companies. Jared, I'll come to you first.
Oh, it's okay. Pick a mic, any mic. What's the question again?
What makes a good partnership between universities and companies?
I think what makes a good partnership, and I'm going to shoot from the hip on this one, is a clear understanding of what both parties want to get out of it. I think if you want to work with a university, understand what you want, and understand what they want as well. Nobody's going to do this for altruism, and if you're going to spend your time and potentially your time and money, so are they. Have clear idea of what the outcomes are. Have a chase and make sure you've got clear deliverables, clear timetable, and stick around a project and get that done as a piece of work, as opposed to just chat off to infinity, I think, would be my recommendation.
Great, thank you, Jared. Caroline, anything you want to add to that?
No, not much, but I think there has to be something in it for everybody. I think that's the ultimate thing. The ideal partnership is a win-win. To use a pun there, sorry, for everybody. So just backing up what Jared's saying.
Thank you, Emma. Anything from you?
Yeah, just for me, just to add to that, I think it's important to be open. I mean, it has to be based on trust as well. We are experienced in dealing with companies. Come and talk to us. Be open. Let's agree at the outset what you'd like to get from it as well. It does have to be mutually beneficial, like it's already been said as well. And also have a clear vision of what you want to do with it. So as I said, there is a pick and mix approach to it. It can be long term as well. So, we are in the area. We're very established as institutions. So, we are a good foundation really for the region that you live in as well. So, I see it that you come with us on a multiple levels. It's not just a one-off. It might be a one-off, but no doubt what you'll find is, there's more expertise, there's more kit, there's more resources. There's talent there that you want to tap into as well. So, think about the bigger picture as well. And as universities and through the WIN network, we work together. So, we actually have strength in diversity. So we work as universities in the region on collaborative projects as well. So even if we may not be able to help you, we'll work with another university which can as well. So I think you've got to think of the big picture and in Wales, we're able to do that. I think sometimes in England, they're quite envious about the approach that we have in Wales. So tap into your local universities and talk to us.
Thank you. So I guess that leads on to a next question, which Emma, I'll probably come to you first on this. How can people find the expertise within universities that they need?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, Caroline's already mentioned that about, potentially how challenging it is to come into universities. And, we large organizations, we're complex. How do you get to who you need to get to? And I mean, I worked in industry and then the government when I came into university. It is a challenge and even within the university, a who's who. So, most universities will have a department which is focused on research and innovation and very outward looking. That's your first place to go to, as well as our website or LinkedIn. So all universities will have web pages where it's collaborate with us, contact us, do business with us. And they will always have a phone number or a contact for you or an email address for you to speak to somebody. And then and I'm working in a similar department within Swansea University. And then it's our job to bring the people that you need to speak to. So we very much act as interpreters, understanding what your challenges are and interpreting that alongside the academic expertise so that we get the right mix. So always go and talk to your research and innovation department. And I've got a shameful plug as well on behalf of Swansea University. So we have something called Link, Swansea Link. So this is our network for you to get engaged with us. We have as I said, our stand round the corner. You can come and pick up some of these leaflets. I have another leaflet for you as well. Sorry, I'm still on the paper format. We've not printed for years. It's like we're having a fun. We've actually got a competition as well for getting Swans tickets for. I know they're not in the Premiership, but if you would like to come to a match, if you register with Link, then you can enter the competition. But in seriousness, the Link network is about linking people together, linking you with our students, our staff, our partners. We have newsletters, we do events, so you can find out what's going on in our research areas, or strengths, or challenges, or opportunities. So those are the gateways into universities, and no doubt the other universities have a similar approach. So come and talk to us, link with us, and come and see us on our stand.
Thank you. Jared, would you like to shamelessly plug how to get in touch with you?
Not as such. I think, again, Emma's covered all the main bases. I think what I would say is if you want to, all of the universities will have a good way in to find your business connect. The reality is, I think what you're going to be looking for is something quite specific, a thing that you need, whether that's about food or about optics or something like that. So I don't think we've got it right yet, if I'm being honest with you. I think you've still got to Google things. I'd come and speak to Win. I'd speak to lots of people. You've got to do the legwork to get the right partner. And I wouldn't be afraid there isn't a Trustpilot or a TripAdvisor review of university departments yet, thank God. But if there was, I'd try and find some other companies that have worked with that organization, try and get a feel for, because they're not all the same, and I'm not going to pretend they're not. Some are going to be better at doing the thing that you require more than others. So I'd ask around as well. I'd do a little bit of research. The more you put in, the more likely you are to get the right partnership from it, I think.
Thanks, Jared. Caroline, anything further from you?
Sorry, I don't have any football tickets. Wrexham Football Club's a bit more sought after these days than it used to be. So, oh yeah, I might register myself. But yeah, I mean, just to back up what's been said. But the one thing I would say is know what you want. Understand your own problem, and if you need assistance in understanding your problem, your challenge, then please, just get in touch. As Wrexham University is quite a small university, it's relatively new. So, we are set up as an industrially facing university. So we feel it's easier for us in many ways to get the formula right because we are smaller and more recently formed in our structure. So a little bit easier for us, easier to talk. But obviously with the OpTIC Technology Centre, you just need to phone reception because, and we will signpost you in the right direction.
Perfect, thank you. And another quick final shameless plug for the Wales Innovation Network. We are a membership organisation of the 9 universities that are operating in Wales. So if you want that initial, you're just not really sure in which direction to go, we can help as part of that research. We can help point you in the correct direction to the universities that might be most suited to what you're looking for. I've asked a couple of questions now, and now I think it'd be useful to throw it open to the floor and ask if there are any questions from the floor at all. Or is that awkward pause? There we go.
Hi, I actually live close to you, Caroline, just in Denby, in Trevenant actually, so just down the road. But I'm interested, can you just describe, I just want to get a picture of what projects have you been involved in? So I see if there's a link in with us or where we can have like mutual support, really. I'm just trying to establish what kind of projects. Is it all hard technology? Is it all hardware? Is it software? Is it, because we deal in data projects and data science projects.
A number of projects really that I think would suit, but it's not all hard technology projects. We do support, we have software companies on site doing their incubation companies as well as established software companies. In the university, we have a very strong computer science and science development group who we could signpost you to also. Companies we work with are, we've supported a number of biotech companies into their first manufacturing sphere. We've also done business development, a company that are hosting higher animated technologies. They started out in OpTIC and moved on from there. So we do have a wide range. What we won't do is say we can help you, but we will signpost you if we don't have the facilities directly on site. So, we do work on hard tech as well. We work with Airbus and Key Optic and other companies locally around the optics sphere as well. The CPE program that we had over 80 companies supported, from Welsh Slate down the road in Blaen y Festiniog through to, Diamond Centre Wales. Micro engraving diamonds to counting slates in boxes. So, we can apply our technologies across a surprising number of sectors. Hope that answers your question. Anyway. Come and talk to me afterwards.
Hi. So how do you think leaving Europe is going to change the innovation landscape in Wales? Because obviously for the universities, Europe was a good source of funding coming through Welsh Government. How do you think things are going to be different going forward, and how do you think that's going to change the landscape that you're working in?
Thank you. Really interesting question, and I think we've seen the effects of that quite dramatically over the last couple of years or so. Emma, you sort of mentioned access to funding in your talk. Shall I come to you first?
Why not? So Horizon Europe is back on the table, but obviously that's is a little bit delayed for us. We've actually lost quite a lot of staff at Swansea University, being one of the areas which has benefited the most from European funding. So a lot of our European funded projects have come to an end this June, entered to December. So we're closing down quite a lot, which has been incredibly disappointing for us. But we've been pivoting over the last few years to move away from European funding anyway, because we knew it was coming. So a lot of the priority areas for us at Swansea has been looking at Innovate UK funding and UKR, which is the UK Research and Innovation Funding Portal. So there's a number of research councils where we can access funding. But Innovate UK have got a fantastic programme to support innovation, and that is applicable to Welsh companies as well, across the UK. So, we can work collaboratively, and that's driven by companies. So you can come and work with us on a collaborative project. We do have some internal funding as well, that through these research councils, to do small projects as well with companies, and to then try and find other mechanisms to get bigger projects. And we've got the KTPs that we've talked about as well. So there's other opportunities to get funding apart from Europe as well. But what we're looking to do is to build these long-term relationships. We want to help you grow. The more you grow, the more staff you need, the more we can support you with driving that pipeline as well. So I think it's working as a collective and looking at the way that we can help the economy grow. So we're a big catalyst for change within, regional development areas. We've been able to access some of the shared prosperity fund through the levelling up agenda. We've also, many cities have got city deals. So we work on big, large strategic projects, which also support skills development and infrastructure as well. So we're key anchor organisations within regions really to help filter that through as well to supporting companies. So it's not complete doom and gloom. I think one of the positives of, or if I can call that, of the loss of European funding is actually how we work with companies. Rather than in Wales, we have had a history of being grant chasers. And I think sometimes that drives the wrong approach. So, companies ourselves have to be a lot more strategic about why we want to engage and how we want to grow. So much more focused. So actually, I think it's helping us have better relationships as well with companies. But we can work with you to access some of the funding. It's not just about Europe.
I'm not going to be super helpful on this. I'll put my heart on the line and say Brexit was a terrible idea. I don't care how much that alienates anybody. For us, I guess similar to Emma in some ways, we had to change what we did. So we weren't getting European funding to support businesses, but we were involved in some European projects where we were working with, automotive manufacturers and people across Europe. We've switched to being much more competitive on Research Council funding. We're running a big UK RI project now, supporting the creative industries, for instance. So there are other ways to do it, but I agree. I think it's made everybody focus a little bit more on why you would want to collaborate with a university, and it's not, as I said at the start, it's not to pass some spare time or for altruism or anything like that. You've got to have a very clear focus on that you want to learn something, you want to get some knowledge from a university so you can do it yourself, or you want to get access to tech or access to expertise. And I think everybody's much more aware of the need for that return on investment. And if the return on investment is correct, well, then you can find the money to do that, or we can find money to do that. So it's taken away some of the grant chasing mentality, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, not a lot to add really, but the one thing I would say is I think it's made us project focused as opposed to funding focused. If you've got a project that will work and then you can drive it through. Yes, I do believe we are still in the middle of the ripple effect. Things haven't settled, and I think that's we are getting there, but there was an immediate hard impact on universities where, jobs were lost and valuable researchers were lost to other countries in Europe and beyond. But, we are recovering, saying that I believe we're in the middle of that ripple effect. What we are doing is focusing on the direct support that we can give and where the support is needed. And I think it makes us a bit leaner and meaner across the UK platform as well. So Wales is now far more level as a competitor on the UK platform, I believe, than it was under the EU structure. So eventually, I believe that will be a good thing for Wales.
Thank you. Yeah, and as somebody who used to work within research funding, I think that government funding agencies have come on a journey as well and have realised that actually that impact and that interface with business and with industry is really important. And I think we're seeing some really innovative schemes starting to come out from them. So the amount or the ways in which funding are available now has broadened. And we're still waiting to see exactly what the support from the Advanced Research and Invention Agency, ARIA, which was launched. It was Dominic Cummings' big grand plan, modelled on the DARPA model in the US. And I think there's a potential for some really interesting funding schemes and support to come out of that, but in quite specific areas. So we're still waiting to see how that develops. Any other questions from the audience?
I'm going to add something quickly on the UKRI scene. I think it's worth bearing in mind. All the UKRI funding typically not all of it, but typically has to be led by a company. So if you're a company, you're in charge of that type of thing. But also it's very collaborative. So if you're looking to solve a problem or a challenge of some kind or other, it's likely that you might need to collaborate with maybe a data company and a hardware company, I don't know, a few other, maybe somebody in food industry or something like that, depending on what it is. So those networks, those collaborations, they're super important, irrespective of the university. So sometimes the university can help you with those networks, but also I'd encourage you to start, reaching out to some of those people and forming those networks of people that can be useful to fix something that's a strategic challenge for you that will reposition where you are to where you want to be in the future.
Other questions? I've got there's one question from me around identifying. So you talked a bit about knowing what you're coming to the university to ask. I suppose we live in a nation that is made up of predominantly SMEs and in many cases really micro businesses. And in some of those, that they might not actually there might not be the capacity to really think through exactly what they need, but a desire to work in partnership. Are there ways in which businesses can work with you to identify what they need? Have you got that support available? And Caroline, I'll come to you. You were nodding there.
Yes, I mean, most definitely. One of the key successes around the programs that we've run is having our business development team who, basically were practically knocking on doors saying, do you know that this is available to support your business? But really, I mean, all universities will have a business development team. They will have an engagement team, most accessible through the website, but, pick up the phone and you will get steered in the right direction. All universities really have switched on to having a business engagement team. And so it's a lot easier than it used to be. I think I would say that much.
My dream partner is the one that turns up and doesn't know what they want to a certain degree. They know that they have a problem, but they don't quite know what to do about it yet. And I think everybody here, I know we do a lot of this, will be about trying to understand and map out what that problem is, because they're typically always messy, complex, very easy to say you have a problem, very difficult to describe what that problem is. I think that first stage of work is always, and that's something, I'm just going to charge you for that. That's trying to work out what it is. So trying to work out what that problem is, and then what the possibilities of how you can go forward from there. I think, I don't know, we would certainly do that. I don't think anybody here would not get involved in that. So if you turn up and say, I want a new glass, that's great. If you turn up and just say, listen, we need something new, something's wrong, we don't innovate the way we should, we've seen this in our competitors and they've got an edge on us or something like that, that's great as well. It's just knowing you have a problem is step one, I think.
Yeah, I think just in terms of the business development approach, most universities will have staff who actually have worked in industry, so they understand, the challenges that you might be facing. So I think sometimes there's that whole piece around being the interpreter and the matchmaker, really trying to bridge that together and get to the bottom of that. So there will be people who will be able to help you understand or maybe point you in the right direction. And as I said, just being aware of some of the services that might actually raise or ideas in your mind as well about moving forward, of hearing about new technology developments that might raise an opportunity that you want to explore. So it's always worth, coming and talking to us. But there are experts within universities who can really help you with that. But what I'd like to put as a caveat is that universities can't solve all problems. We do have teaching and research. We can't, however much we're promoting it today, I think it's really important to just also check that we can't always resolve everything. And it is a challenge to run a big organization. They're very expensive to run. But we will try our very best, or signpost you if we can't, or work in collaboration, or try and get funding. But I don't want to come here and say we've got the magic wand and we can solve all the problems, but we will try our very best.
Perfect. Thanks, Emma. So I think that's given a really nice overview of the work that's going on at 3 universities in Wales. We have the 8 universities in Wales plus the Open University in Wales as well as members of WIN. A huge amount of activity going on across those. Just before we finish, shall I give you a chance to plug again what you're up to for the rest of Wales Tech Week and anything else you want to plug? So, yeah, Emma is the most polished at this, so I'll come to you.
Can you tell I worked in marketing before as well? So our stand is just to the left outside of here, Swansea University. You'll notice all of our imaging as well. So come and talk to us. I'm here for the rest of the day. The team are here for the next 3 days as well. We have our business development team on standby. So, come and talk to us, find out a bit more what we do. Come and sign up. There's no obligations, but it's free of charge for you to join, the Link network and, find out a bit more about what's happening in your local area. And even the North and England, we've very happy for, we want to extend the network as far and beyond, but please come and, speak to us and I'll be here for the rest of the day.
Shameless plug. I don't have a stand. I've got a website. Look that up afterwards. I'll be wandering around for a bit if you catch me. I'm the bald guy. PDR, we are, I think the thing that both excites me and frustrates me at the same time, PDR is ranked as the #1 design agency in the UK, have been since 2018. We're the top 10 globally. I want to do a lot more of that work within 300 miles of where I live, not 3,000 miles of where I live. So and the work that we have done in Wales is the most exciting and the most pleasant and the most challenging. So if you do have a problem, you want to come and chat, please do.
Okay, shameless plugs. I am involved in a challenge camp this afternoon together with one of our industrial partners, OpTIC, and so please do come along to the challenge camp area and take part with us this afternoon. We also have the technology vouchers, partnership transfer vouchers scheme at Wrexham University, which will help break the ice. It gives the funding for up to 5 days of academic time to explore your challenge and just to see whether, and helps you make that initial contact. So please do, and that is across the whole of the university capability. So not just the OpTIC Technology Centre. So please do grab me either at the challenge camp. Let's have some more numbers, and or directly. I'll be around the floor all day. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you, and I'll be around all day as well, giving out leaflets about WIN if you're interested in the network as a whole. Thank you very much.
I was wondering how long it would take us to discuss the dreaded B word, but you've done well didn't you? So a round of applause, please, for our first panel this morning. Thank you so much. Thank you for your questions. We will be back for the second session at 11 o'clock, so that's 15 minutes, Growing High-Tech Talent in Wales, and it's with Professor Rob Rowley. So thank you for now. Maybe we'll see you at 11 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.